So onto the Hatcher. It doesn't look very pretty and it's a bit Heath Robinson to say the least, but it works perfectly. I originally racked my brains onto how on earth I could make a Hatcher that would not only allow me to hatch the eggs inside it if I needed to, if there was a chick that was in difficulty or had a problem, something where I could get in and deal one-handedly, admittedly, it's very, very difficult, but where I could get in and assist without having to take the egg out and mess about putting on heat mats and trying to take the shell off and assist. I wanted something where I could just get in there, do what I had to do and get out without disrupting the humidity, without disrupting anything else, which is impossible to do with your factory made bought hatchers, incubators, whatever, and where I could keep the humidity at a constant range, again without disturbing anything, taking anything out, but just get water in there at will without disruption. So the time machine, just a basic plastic box that I got from the local sort of hardware do-it-all shop. It's a toy box, I think. It's used for stacking, hence the bits that protrude there, which were very annoying to try and cut the base round and to get everything to fit properly without any gaps where young birds could get their feet caught or their beaks caught. So very annoying. If I could have found just a square straight edge one, that would have been perfect, but I couldn't. So this was all I could get, so we had to modify this as best as possible. Obviously covered with insulating polystyrene. I cut various little slots in the front or two with ventilation going through, so I could see what the eggs were doing at a low level, especially if sometimes chicks will pip sort of underneath the egg and you can't see what's happening from above. So I wanted to be able to see underneath the eggs, if you like. Humidity is controlled by, again, a syringe with a tube that goes right through into the base that you can't see for the minute because it's dark. I have my spy holes up there. You can see all the eggs at all times if and when needed. So that solved the problem of humidity and visualising what was going on from all angles. So there was nothing to surprise anybody. Heat, again, with the American heat thermostat. Humidity I gauge by American humidity and temperature thingy. That goes through the slot there, and whilst the eggs are not externally pipped, I have that on top of the eggs as with the incubator and move it around various times during the day by putting my hand through there and just moving it around. When the eggs do pip externally, I just drag it out through the hole to a certain height just above the eggs, so I can still keep an eye on the humidity above the eggs, but obviously it's not as good as what it is on the eggs. The readout isn't as precise, but it doesn't matter. That I know what the humidity is. So the heating element, is a Brincy element, and that works perfectly. That is really brilliant. That from UK. Oh, there goes me humidity thing. And when I'm hatching in here, I have the sensor through that eye there in the middle that we can't see there. So that hangs directly in the middle of the hatcher, just above the eggs. Doesn't interfere with any of the chicks or anything when they're out, and it gives me a very good idea of the temperature around the whole box. Obviously it's slightly hotter directly beneath the element, but only by 1/9 of a degree, but that gives me an overall temperature range throughout the whole box. Now, this is just a garden. I don't know what this actually is. I got this from the garden centre. It's something to do with the garden, but quite sharp around the edges. So I've protected it with this black stuff, which is the ridges off of a sink protector, a rubber sink protector. The base is an old tray from the fridge, and I've got that balanced on top of cotton reel, plastic cotton reels, and the tube, as you can see there, goes directly into the bottom. I just fill that up with water, and I can keep that topped up at any given time. When the eggs have externally pipped, I do put 2 small plastic containers, one in that corner and one in that corner, and I fill those up with water if and when needed via 2 straws, one there and one over there, and 2 syringes in the straws, and I just top them up with water if and when needed. Works very well if I need to increase the humidity, which doesn't often happen. When the chicks have hatched, or the keats or the poults have hatched, by way of aid of a torch, because I say it's not on the, I did have a light bulb in here to govern the heat on a habitat. Very, very unsuccessful, no good whatsoever. So when one needs to get a chick out, or one needs to get in and interfere because they're having a problem, you just take your little door off, you put your hand in here. This is very sticky material, so it sort of grips to the skin. So as you put in there, and as you can see, complete access around the whole box. No worries, either assist a chick to hatch or take the hatchling out without the loss of any humidity. It's quite difficult actually getting a turkey poult out there because they're quite tall, so it's sort of a case of manipulating your hand and getting them in that sort of position to pull them out. Otherwise you end up taking their noses off or their beaks off or their heads off on the top, and then you just put your little door back, and that's it. No humidity is lost, no heat is lost, nobody's disturbed, and everything's dandy. So that is my hatcher. If I could have found just a square see-through plastic box, slightly bigger and maybe taller, I think I would try and go into production with it, because it is brilliant. It's not completely foolproof, as I say, because of power cuts and things, but the humidity in there is constant, it doesn't change. All this is taped off, nothing needs to be interfered with. You can get in and out, see what you're doing without disrupting anything, and it's absolutely brilliant. So that's my hatcher. Best invention I ever made. That took many months, but there we are, I got there. 100% hatch. I don't know how many eggs I hatched last year, must have been 100 and something, but what went in as eggs came out as hatchlings, so brilliant. Now the next video I'll be putting up will be the very first ever done with this with the hatcher in full flow, but on the light bulb and the habitat, so the hatching wasn't a great success apart from me doing it myself. But so as far as that was concerned, it was a great success. Everything survived, but you know, it wasn't the best. And my daughter's going to hate me for putting that up, because well, she'll just hate me. That's of course if I can ever get any of these on YouTube. It's going to be quite a challenge for me to do that. I've never done it like this before, and I don't know if I'm technically minded enough to actually be able to upload anything on YouTube. But that will be another adventure I can participate in. So we'll try. We'll give it a go. So as after this one, it will be the very first videos I did with this in production. That was two and a half years ago, something like that. And there's only a few of those, and then I will be carrying on with uploading the videos as events unfold with my experimental hatching as nature intended, or not quite intended, as whichever way you look at it. Okay.